So I am starting a new business with the goal that within 1 year, it will do $1 million in sales. That is a little scary to say out loud since I don't even have any of my products yet. Let me explain. As long as I could remember, I always wanted to push myself to see what I was capable of, even if it scared me. Since I've always believed that the greatest things in life are on the other side of fear. And for the past 9 months, I've had this idea, a dream, that I can't stop thinking about. But it is pretty bold and ambitious. So my dream is that I want to build $1 million business beyond YouTube where I share everything on this YouTube channel in a series where I publicly disclose everything that I can. From business conceptualizing, marketing plans, product development, to even the sales results. And why this idea has excited me so much is because you guys are going to be along for this wild ride. This is not going to be a perfect how-to series of how to start $1 million business, but rather a real-life documentation of my wins and certainly my losses of my entrepreneur life of trying to start this new brand. I do have my bachelor's degree in finance, but this new series is going to be my master's degree. And as most of you guys know, I do have some experience. I did start a clothing company out of my college dorm room and also started a skateboard company with professional skateboarder and Olympian Manny Santiago, in which I was able to get that company into the big chain retailer Zoomies around the country. Then I have learned a thing or two about creating ads and content from this YouTube channel. But this new series will be the ultimate test, since I have never done anything to this level before. And a test with a very low success rate, since according to the internet, nearly 90% of all small businesses will fail. Kinda wish I didn't look that up. But I think an important principle here is to not be afraid of failure.
I'm not afraid anymore!
And I really did have to have a deep conversation with myself about this. With how I may publicly fail, I may lose money, I may lose sleep, but I do know one thing for a fact. Actually, 2 things. One is that I know that future Brett would regret this if I didn't go for it. And 2, I know that at the end of the day, it can't be a fail because I am going to learn so much. Now you all are probably wondering, what is the new business? And that is a great question. I even wondered that myself for a while, so let me explain how I decided on it. I came up with a checklist of requirements I'd want the business to have. I knew I wanted it to be a physical product rather than an e-product. I wanted it to involve traveling, because a life goal of mine has to be an international businessman just like my grandfather. I wanted the industry to have a market cap of at least $1 billion so I can aim to just try and grab a small percentage of that market share. I wanted something that I personally use and was excited about. And finally, but most importantly, I wanted to fix some sort of problem or help people enrich their lives. And something that I've learned from doing this YouTube channel is that it is a lot easier to create an ad and try to sell something when you are solving a problem. For example, it is super difficult to try and find an accessible therapist at an affordable price that is most suitable for your needs. And therapy is super crucial. To me, you go to the gym to enhance your body and feel physically better. But I do therapy to enhance my mind and have more clarity and live a happier and healthier life. I have been doing therapy with BetterHelp for almost the past 2 years now, and it has been one of the best decisions I've made. And I really do recommend trying out therapy with BetterHelp for yourself. Like honestly, even with trying to create this announcement video and building up the courage to go forth with this series, I've even had minor mental breakdowns, and going to therapy has helped me significantly. And if you are an entrepreneur, a student, pretty much everyone on this planet is going through something, and therapy with BetterHelp is the perfect solution. I genuinely mean that. This is an ad for BetterHelp, but you see how easy it is to create a unique selling point for a business when they solve a problem that so many people need help resolved. And in addition to having a great product like BetterHelp, you also need a great offer. And BetterHelp is giving all of my subscribers 10% off their first month of therapy with BetterHelp if you go to the link down below or go to betterhelp.com/BrettConti. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this channel, as well as being a great example for an awesome business. So in thinking of ways that could help people or help solve a problem, I've been jotting down ideas throughout my daily life. And the first thing that I came up with was a whiteboard that can transform or flip into a piece of art. Then the second one is an app that lets you know how long the security line is at the airport. The third one, this one I really like. This one is a frozen NYC pizza brand. There could be something there, but this one would definitely take a lot of initial capital and a very high risk because you need to get frozen trucks and frozen warehouses and already have distribution set up. So may put that one on the back burner for now. The fourth one, Gatorade for dogs. They're running around, they need their electrolytes too, right? Probably not. But then I found this one, and this one I personally like the best and also fits all my other criteria. So I usually like to have what I call my work beverage for whenever I do need to focus and just put my heads down into a project. Something that stimulates my mind, makes me feel good, and most importantly, gives me a sustained amount of energy. Of course, I drink coffee, but it wasn't always having the best side effects on my focus, where I feel like I'd have this blast off of energy, but then come tumbling down crashing. And this was especially if I wanted to sip multiple cups throughout the whole day. So something that I had been adding to my work beverage lineup was tea. Besides water, tea is the most consumed beverage on the planet. And after traveling to over 60 countries, something that I've picked up on is how important tea is to a country's culture. Simply because there are so many kinds of tea with so many different uses and effects. From traveling to places like Turkey, Japan, and Taiwan, where their teas are incredible. So every time I travel to a new place, I always bring home some tea to supplement my home tea stash. Tea has so many health benefits, and most common tea brands don't even utilize the full potential of tea. So after experimenting with different teas, I decided that I will be starting a wellness tea company. With the first product being a tea that can help you focus, be creative, and more productive without all of those negative side effects. So something I learned as a fan of Richard Branson is that he selects industries to go into where he feels like they're very boring and traditional. So he can go in and disrupt, shake things up, and put a different, more fun twist on it. So as I was in a grocery store doing some market research, I noticed how pretty much every tea company has a very similar branding, which is very formal and proper, and well, your typical tea branding for a company that's been around for 100 years. Boring. So I thought it would be awesome to spice things up a bit and come up with a more fun, playful, and creative tea company that's mostly targeted to millennials and Gen Z with a lot of color, enthusiasm, and energy.
I think it's brilliant.
So I do think this wellness tea company is one that solves a problem as well as fits the rest of my criteria. Since it is a physical product, can be scaled up or down, would involve a lot of international travel, is a massive existing industry, and most importantly, I'm just genuinely very excited about it. So now, how in the world am I going to do this? So at this point, I gotta be honest with you guys, I do have only very limited knowledge when it does come to tea ingredients and blends. But one thing I learned from doing that video with billionaire Steve Madden is that I need to become a master at my craft. So I have been talking to industry experts as well as drinking a ton of tea, but now the plan is to dedicate the next few months of my life to learning everything there is to know about tea. And it starts right now. I just ordered $340 worth of tea. We're officially making steps forward. Got my tea samples. Steve Jobs started Apple out of his garage. We're starting my tea company at an NYC smallest kitchen. Let's get to work. So now I wanted to quickly discuss why in the world am I doing this? Like right now, everything in my life is going so smoothly and great. I have an awesome apartment here in NYC, the YouTube business is going really well, and I've been able to make a pretty good living. So why in the world would I go through all of this stress to start a new business? And trust me, it's been very stressful. I haven't even started and I'm already like waking up with anxiety. So when I started my first business, Fortune NYC, the name came from wanting to give back to the less fortunate. And within the first year of business, I was able to raise over $2,000 to give back to the homeless here in the city to put them into shelter during the New York City winter. And that was a huge motivation for me to want to grow the business even more. Now with this wellness tea company, the number one goal on my bucket list is to build a school in a country where it is needed. My stepmom is from Cambodia, and I've been lucky enough to get to go many times and even get the opportunity to go to a school opening ceremony. And that was probably the most touched I've ever felt in my life, witnessing these young kids that are now getting the opportunity to get an education. So I want part of the tea company's mission to build a school and inspire kids everywhere to be more creative and innovative in the classroom. And if you have seen any of my videos before, you would know that this is what genuinely motivates me. I've turned my NYC rooftop into a nightclub and made over $3,000 that was then donated to someone in need of a surgery, bought new e-bikes when theirs got stolen, gave money to restaurants during COVID, made $1,000 in 72 hours by doing odd jobs in the city, and then donated that $1,000 to someone in need. And this new brand will be a continuation of that. A continuation of my entrepreneurial journey. So my plan is to use this aspect of wanting to give back as part of my motivation in wanting to succeed in this challenge. Of course, I do just really want to succeed in it and think it'll be a great opportunity, but this is just gonna give it that extra boost. So I am publicly declaring now that if after launch, which should be in a couple months, that we hit that $1 million goal in sales in 1 year, that I will be building a school in Asia. Now, I just need to get out and get busy. Really busy. So after spending the past few weeks doing my home research, learning about teas and all the benefits of each ingredient, I feel like it's time that this master's class goes on a little field trip to tea country. So we will see you next week from the other side of the world.